Ic1 Encyclopedia Spiritual Living. Spiritual Living under New Management, guided by the forces of the universe, your sacred council. Discover the secrets of the universe, which reveals an assembly or circle of 32 laws of universe and nature, or better said, the guiding forces of universe and nature, such as duality, time, change, attraction, cause and effect, order, place and function, and many more. We are all looking for change, struggling in so many ways and aspects of our life. We may have an advisor, a healthcare practitioner, a nutritionist, personal trainer, or even a lifestyle coach. But we don't have access to them all day long. So enter the circle of vital and aware living and meet the Sacred Council, your personal lifestyle and awareness coaching team, always ready to assist you in every moment and in any circumstance. We are like visitors in a foreign country without knowing the laws and how everything functions in that world. We know a lot about the things of the modern world, but know little about the basics of life. See how they assist us with every step we make and with every breath we take, and make them practical in your daily life in dealing with your real self, your soul, your mind and your thoughts, your body, words and communication, nutrition, fitness, your life partner, children, the teenage years, getting older, stress, weight, disease, emotions, business, destructive habits, preserving the planet, studying, and friendships. For more detailed information on each of the guiding forces, see the intro booklet. There are endless words that can be connected to any subject, and each subject can have many books because each subject can be approached from various perspectives or angles. Most important, however, is not to forget that all that is said or written is merely an opinion, a truth, and not the truth. Because the spoken and written word is part of the creative world created in opposites, constantly changing and bound to time, and there is always more that can be said or written about any subject. Regarding me and the Sacred Council members talking about any subject, know that this understanding applies to that information as well. The information is formed from their particular point of view and brought to you through the world of visionary and mystical fiction. Hopefully, it contributes to your life and assists you to experience life in a more conscious, mystical, and magical way. By hearing or reading this information, you will come to the conclusion that you know this already, and you do, because this is part of your universal and spiritual inheritance. And often, we just need one word or a sentence that inspires and motivates us to do things differently or to think about a certain subject from a different perspective. The guiding force of the Creator. Make God a reality in your life. In regards to spiritual living, when you think about yourself, do you instantly identify with yourself the name given to you and the person you see in the mirror? Do you realize that this is just the mind and the body you are referring to? But what about the real you? The other question you could ask yourself, if you rather refer to yourself as the body and mind or as something greater. When you come from the consciousness being a body and mind, you are restricted in your dealings with yourself, others and the world. But when you come from your real self and that level of consciousness, your soul, you would come from eternal love and wisdom. Stay aware that God, the life-creating and life-sustaining force, is in you and in everything and everybody. Nothing can exist without this life-creating and life-sustaining power. Show your respect with all you do and realize His power to create in each thought, word and deed. So be careful what you create and keep Him in mind all the time. Basically, you are in God's presence all the time, but you create unfortunately other gods and forget about the true one. You worship others, buildings, rituals, powers, money, food, and endless other things that are now your gods. None other than Him deserves your worship. Even His true messengers do not want to be worshipped, as they show you the path within yourself to find Him and to worship Him and Him alone. The way to worship God is thus to keep Him in your thoughts all the time, or even better, by you stepping aside and let Him have His adventure through you. The way to stay that focused is a moment-to-moment and lifelong process, so that your attraction for the world and your attachment to them gets taken over by you getting attracted and attached to Him. In order to get that done again is to first find the real you, the soul inside your body, which is called self-realization, which can lead to God-realization. Quote, "Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you?" Paul, Corinthians 6:19. End of quote. The guiding force of the universal teacher. Master or be mastered. In regards to spiritual living, find a spiritual master teacher who is familiar with the inner path and who guides you through his teachings to that potential within yourself. Spirituality is beyond the physical you and beyond the realm of mind and matter, but the journey to soul self-realization and God-realization starts within your physical body. This is your real birthright, and make use of that gift. A true master doesn't claim anything, but guides you to that spirituality within yourself, and that information and service is free of charge. The journey is about mastering the sense organs and the mind, who is attached to endless things of the world, and in order to master these very strong opponents, one's entire life must reflect that objective. Spirituality is a lifestyle. You can look at a master who has mastered and overcome the dictates of the sense organs, being subject to the rules of the mind and matter, as a friend, a father, a coach, or teacher. You can look at a master as your spiritual ambassador or embassy, who can issue you a visa and passport to enter the spiritual realms. You can look at a master as a spiritual travel agent or guide or ferryman who assists you to get from the physical world into and through the inner world to your real spiritual domain. Masters have been called fishermen and shepherds, collecting their allotted souls, and the washerman that assists to purify the impurities around the soul in order to be pure again. Quote, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes unto the Father but by me." John 14:6. End of quote. The guiding force of the power of the mind. Know the tricks of your mind. In regards to spiritual living, know that it is the mind you are up against, and it will keep you distracted and away from spirituality with all its might, because it is one of its major duties. Your sense organs are the agent of the mind. Inside the mind, in which you can find anything regarding the creation, you will not find spirituality, because this is from beyond the mind. It is from above the mind, before it was created. There is, however, a lot written and said about spirituality, which you can find inside the mind, but these are just indications that spirituality exists. But you must make it into a reality. Most important is that you can use the mind through spiritual practice to get rid of itself and to go beyond. The mind is a useful servant when directed by your soul under the guidance of a teacher and master who has accomplished this by following the instructions of his master. But the mind directed by your sense organs and negative passions is capable of the most destructive things. You have to be very careful with your thoughts and words, and for what you ask for, because when these requests have to do with worldly things and situations, they will be given by the mind, either instantly or at a later point in time. Quote, "Mind is the deadliest of foes, but the most useful of servants. When it turns wild and gets out of control, it heeds for certain destruction. When properly awakened and controlled, there is no limit to what the mind can do." Huzur Maharaj Charan Singh Ji. End of quote. As long as you do not accept your life and are not content, you will be asking for things, but all of them have no lasting effect. The best wish is to have no wish anymore, and for that you have to go beyond the realm of mind and matter, a space or consciousness where you have already everything and where everything is forever. The guiding force of the true disciple. Follow the master and the teachings. In regards to spiritual living, be a true disciple and walk the path instead of talking about it and ending up in endless intellectual discussions. Quote, "Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do." Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. End of quote. You needed teachers for everything in your life, so don't be cocky by thinking that in regards to the most difficult subject in life, that you can do it by yourself. Although the path and knowledge is within you, you need the help of somebody who has gone the path before you. It may take you an entire life to find your teacher. Then really investigate, build your faith on a rock, and then submit. Although a real spiritual teacher doesn't claim anything, know that when it is your teacher, that you have to become one with him in order to travel home. Realize that as long as you have not reached the level of your teacher, that you interpret the path from your point of view. So visualize your spiritual teacher standing next to you when you think, speak, and do things, and visualize him as well in anybody else. Quote, "Jesus said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me." John 14:6. End of quote. The guiding force of your inner hero. Be the hero of your own life adventure. In regards to spiritual living, a spiritual hero comes from his inner center and not from physical power and strength, and changes his fear into courage. Every obstacle you encounter on your spiritual mission must be looked upon as an opportunity. Quote, "The pessimist sees the difficulty in every opportunity, the optimist the opportunity in every difficulty." G.P. Sachs. End of quote. Do your best on all levels, so you have no excuses and realize that there maybe is no tomorrow. This is the life of a samurai who can die any day in the battle, but who lives a full life being aware of this fact. Death can come any minute, so why not live by these principles? The guiding force of maturity and wisdom. Learn from the wise elders and nature. In regards to spiritual living, stay aware that real wisdom is spiritual wisdom, which is attained through inner and silent spiritual practice. As long as you are not one with the Creator, know that you have not complete access to your spiritual inheritance, and that your spiritual wisdom is not completed yet. Quote, knowledge can be communicated, but not wisdom. Hermann Hesse. End of quote. The more you are on the spiritual inner path, the more in harmony you will start to live with nature and everybody, because you recognize that spirit in everything and in everybody. You will become a global and spiritual being who doesn't interfere, but who contributes to life in all its aspects. The guiding force of fantasy and magic. Live your life as a magical adventure. In regards to spiritual living, rediscover the child within you again. Children have the magic that adults while growing up slowly lose. Children are vital and have zest, and do not want to sleep as they see adventure and play in everything. They are magical beings and create magic around them, and most important, they have saint-like qualities. Look at them living and playing in their make-believe world. But are you not all living in a make-believe world? The endless realities you can find in your mind and which you can play out in the external world are also from a make-believe world. There is nothing real, as everything in the creation is part of the mortal world, constantly changing, created with opposites, and bound to time. When you would stay living with this realization and awareness, you would be playing make-believe. In everything you do, you can make-believe parent, business owner, employee, or anything for the matter of fact, and not falling for physical and mental and emotional traps. Quote, a wise man, recognizing that the world is but an illusion, does not act as if it is real, so he escapes the suffering. A Buddha. End of quote. Do the same with playing out all the different characters in life, the adventurer, the friend, the lover, the partner, the happy face, the such-called positive and negative characters like anger, but play the anger out, but do not become it. You are the creators of your own life movie. A movie you can call good or bad. You have to go through it, but never forget that you can see it as a make-believe world and bringing the force of magic back into it. Make your own momentary adventure as a soul being inside a physical body and equipped with a mind into a magical one by seeing yourself as a soul and child of the Creator on an adventure in creation. You are in your own fairy tale. You are that soul in all the fairy tales which is looking for that kiss to be transformed. You're all looking for that perfect love. Who will break the spell of you living in ignorance, asleep, and in bondage? The ultimate quest is to find that ultimate love, and which is the real magic, your soul reuniting with its true lover, the Creator itself. Quote, on the path of God realization, one must become unfettered like a child. Huzur Maharaj Charan Singh Ji. End of quote. The guiding force of translating messages. Decipher the symbolic meaning of messages. In regards to spiritual living, stay aware that everything that happens in your life can be used in your quest of soul, self, and God realization. Everything is a message, and to be used to reflect on your inner spiritual practice. This is your new point of reference. Decode and translate all your external experiences and use them to progress internally. Do not see them as something separate from you, but accept them as part of it. You could look at everything that happens in life and everything you do regarding worldly things that ultimately will not bring you peace and happiness. All of them are messages to remind you that you're not from here. The ultimate healing is the healing of your soul, which is covered by endless layers of the mind ruled by the sense organs. It has forgotten who it is and where it belongs. It is lost in this world of suffering, and as long as it is connected to the mind, it is not free and part of the suffering. Find the teacher and teachings, the ultimate physician and ultimate medicine, which assists to heal your soul's situation. Quote, "Man is never helped in his suffering by what he thinks for himself, but only by a revelation of a wisdom greater than his own. It is this which lifts him out of his distress." Carl Gustav Jung. End of quote. The guiding force of the energy of solids and earth. Feel connected and keep on experiencing new. In regards to spiritual living, be sure to build it on a solid foundation, so it can withstand you going through the hurricanes and earthquakes of life. Know that all manifestations in the creations are impermanent, that you cannot hold on to anything, and that you cannot control anything, other than learning to get a grip on your sense organs, negative passions, and controlling the mind. You came without anything and will go without anything. All are momentary gifts loaned to you, so practice selflessness. Your comfort will be sitting during meditation and silent inner prayer, alone by yourself and connecting with that stream of eternal life as much as possible, also during the day. Quote, "For those who wish to climb the mountain of spiritual awareness, the path is selfless work. For those who have attained the summit of union with the Lord, the path is stillness and peace." The Bhagavad Gita. End of quote. The guiding force of the energy of liquids and water. Go with the flow and in moderation. In regards to spiritual living, know that the taste for the things of the world will fade, and that you, by practicing your meditation and inner and silent prayer, will get more and more a spiritual taste, something that is stronger than all the mortal tastes and which will outlast your mortal life. By staying committed to your spiritual practice and getting more in tune with that spirit within you, you automatically learn to go better with the flow and adapt easier to the situations in life. Keep your physical body and mind fit and vital, for you need them in your quest. For when your body gets plagued with discomfort, it is harder to sit for your spiritual practice. Let moderation enter your life in all of its aspects, for it will assist you to stay away from extremes and enjoy to play. Quote, "Never go to excess, but let moderation be your guide." Marcus Tullius Cicero. End of quote. The guiding force of the energy of heat and fire. Pace yourself in order to digest. In regards to spiritual living, know that any fear in whatever aspect or form is the opposite of spirituality, for spirit is just love. So the only way to overcome any fear is to connect with that essence of love within yourself. Be gentle and forgiving, for everyone is under the sway of the mind and the sense organs that made you and others more into robots and only respond through their conditionings. Quote, There is nothing stronger in the world than gentleness. Han Suyin. End of quote. Pace yourself in your thoughts and action by keeping your inner spiritual practice going all day long, and only in this way will you be able to digest life. The guiding force of the energy of gases and air. Embrace, endure, and love it all. In regards to spiritual living, know that you will have to embrace everything and everybody equally. It is stepping into your unconditional love, which loves for the sake of loving, and without any expectation or reward in mind. This love, which comes from the essence of your soul, will give you the endurance to go through the challenges of life. From the level of your spirit, you are in touch with everything and everybody, for all is of the same essence. Be patient and let the breath of life breathe through your breathing your entire being. Be careful to what you love and get attached to. Quote, "What is the value of loving that which must perish?" Maharaj Sawan Singh. End of quote. Stay attached to that spirit within you through your spiritual practice, and all worldly attachments will fade in time. The guiding force of ether connected to audible sounds and verbal communication. Realize that everything you hear and say is just an opinion. In regards to spiritual living, stay aware that all that is communicated is just an opinion, even spiritual matters. Know that the Creator is in everything and everybody, and that you are talking to Him all day long. Keep Him in mind and keep that in mind. Realize that it is impossible to translate spirituality into words, which are from the realm of mind and matter. Individuals and groups have and are still making war over them. Quote, "Whoever undertakes to set himself up as the judge in the field of truth and knowledge is shipwrecked by the laughter of the gods." Albert Einstein. End of quote. Keep, however, your ears open for spiritual information and do not judge anything, but prove the matter to yourself. Faith and belief are not words, but spirituality in action. Learn to be more in silence and speak less, for spiritual inner evidence. Things cannot have words, and other things are better left unsaid. The guiding force of ether, connected to the conditioned mind, associations, and non-audible communication. Stay aware of your limited and conditioned realities. In regards to spiritual living, you have to regard anything that can be desired in the shopping center of the mind as your roadblock to achieve spirituality. The only desire that can be there is to go beyond the realm of mind and matter, and the only way to accomplish this is to leave all worldly matters behind. You cannot have both. Stay clear and focused in your spiritual practice. Close all the doors inside your body that are the entrances to the outside world. Close all the doors within the shopping center of the mind and just sit and wait for that secret door to open that will allow you to go beyond. Quote, "He who has to give you all is sitting inside in the third eye. He is simply waiting for the cleanliness of your mind and is watching your every action." Maharaj Sawan Singh. End of quote. You associate with your soul, which connects you to your spiritual inheritance, or you associate with the mind, which associates through the sense organs with the body and creation, connecting you to your limited and conditioned inheritance and very little life reality. Quote, While the mind derives its life force and energy from the soul, it is at the same time does everything possible to suffocate the soul. Maharaj Sawan Singh, end of quote. The first stage of meditation and silent prayer are essential to help you to get concentrated and focused, for clear thinking, and to set your priorities in the realm of your conditioned association, and it helps you to deal better with them. Gather all scattered energies at the point in between the two physical eyes. Quote, meditation means trying to hold our attention at the eye center and to not let it come down to the senses. That is concentration, to keep the mind steady at the eye center and not let it come down. Huzur Maharaj Charan Singh Ji, end of quote. Seek to go beyond the limited and conditioned mind into the universal mind and get access to the hard drive which has all memory and all knowledge concerning the creation. But realize that all information connected to the mind is very limited compared to your spiritual knowledge. And for this, you need to seek a master, a teacher, and path through which you can accomplish this. The guiding force of ether, connected to the universal mind, higher virtues, and soul communication. Observe yourself. In regards to spiritual living, connect with the higher virtues. Acceptance, humbleness, forgiveness, gentleness, moderation, and selflessness, which you need to practice and which is only possible when you are in full conscious contact with the Spirit. Do not crown yourself or others for any spiritual achievements, for they are given to you. Spirit connects to you and not the other way around. As the gift of spirituality starts to take over, you can finally observe the movie of life without getting involved. So continue to be more in silence and keep knocking at that one door by doing your spiritual practice, preparing yourself to travel on the inward path to spiritual reunion. Through silent prayer and meditation, you first gather your scattered energy, get concentrated, clear and focused about your priorities and how to go about worldly matters. Secondly, by losing all connections to all your familiar associations, you then enter the universal mind, which will give you access to do great things in the world, things that really stand out. Inside the highest realm of the universal mind, you can find all the imprints of the highest virtues, and you can live with them in the world. The real silent prayer and meditation, however, is to go within and to sit in the dark waiting room and waiting for a door from the other side to be opened, in order for the light to come in. This is the invisible door located at the crown. Here is where your spiritual journey starts. Here you can find the inner everlasting audible light and life stream entering your being and feeding all cells of your body. Quote, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thy eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. Bible, end of quote. Knowing all these dimensions, treasure chambers, the question arises, are you using your energy for the right priority, worldly or spiritually? The ego knows the path in regards to achieving things in creation, and the soul knows the path to realize itself and to return home. Quote, you cannot travel the path until you have become the path itself. Buddha. End of quote. The guiding force of duality. Accept and deal with the duality in everything and everybody. In regards to spiritual living, know that the body and mind are part of the world of opposites and impermanent, but the soul, your true self, is from a permanent world in which duality doesn't exist. Your worldly adventure is to experience opposites, as one cannot exist without the other, but in order to experience a world and yourself without opposites, you must go beyond the realm of mind and matter. Quote, O mighty armed one, he who hates nothing and is attracted to nothing is known as the one who is established in renunciation. Free from the pairs of opposites, he is easily liberated from bondage. Bhagavad Gita. End of quote. In your quest to do this, you will start to experience the duality in all equally and discovering the neutral side and this neutral way of looking. Dealing with things will be experienced by you coming from your soul self. But to do this, you must first totally surrender. Quote, when you live in surrender, something comes through you into the world of duality that is not of this world. Eckhart Tolle. End of quote. The guiding force of time. Learn to live in the moment. In regards to spiritual living, know that from a worldly point of view, everything is bound to time, and that you have a limited amount of time available, and for that reason, you have to have your priorities right, and you must become very time efficient and a very good time manager. When you do not follow this, you will always fight not having enough time, because you are wasting and most likely losing your time. As your spiritual journey starts with and in your physical body, which is bound to time, you must practice as if any moment could be your last. Quote, lack of direction, not lack of time, is the problem. We all have 24 hours a day. Zig Ziglar. End of quote. Make sure to spend plenty of time in solitude and in silent prayer and meditation. During the day, but especially sitting for your spiritual practice, learn to stay in the moment and do not let the mind pull you out of the moment into the past or the future. Quote, concentrate all your thoughts upon the work at hand. The sun rays do not burn until brought to a focus. Alexander Graham Bell. End of quote. The guiding force of change. Learn to go with the ever-changing adventure. In regards to spiritual living, stay aware that the body and mind are part of an ever-changing world, but the soul is from a permanent one. Know that the real you, the soul inside of you, never changes, and that change is just a creation of the mind, which is part of the creation. Quote, all that has been created is bound to change and decay. Maharaj Sawan Singh. End of quote. Whatever you would like to see changing in the external world, change that within yourself, and by doing this, the external world will change as well. The only security you can build is on your spiritual foundation, by spending more time within, through silent prayer and meditation, and to be with that essence which never changes. Quote, the destination is a happy life, an accomplished life that doesn't end with death, but with eternal life. Angelo Scola. End of quote. The guiding force of cycles. Tune into the natural cycles of life. In regards to spiritual living, are you keeping in mind that there is a beginning and ending to the cycle of your physical existence? The body and mind are bound to the cycles of creation, and the soul, for the moment being, connected to the mind and body, is patiently waiting to be free of both of them, in order to return to the realm of immortality. Quote, in this vast wheel of Brahm, in which all things live and die, the soul is tossed about, so long as it regards the self as separate from the mover. Only when blessed by him does it attain immortality. Upanishads. End of quote. Everything in creation is part of the cycle of birth and death, except for the essence in everything, and this essence is also in you. It is the real you, your soul, which lives forever. The guiding force of balance. It is nature's duty to recreate balance. In regards to managing and dealing with the mind, know that the mind will keep you busy looking for the perfect balance in an imperfect world, in which perfect balance is not possible. Remember that the mind has the duty to get you out of balance, away from your spiritual inheritance, which is the answer to real and permanent balance. At the same time, it is the duty of the force of balance to always restore balance when an imbalance occurs. I will make you aware of them first in a subtle way, trying to tune into your intuition and inner sense of understanding. But when this doesn't get your attention, I will make you aware in more physical terms, through more obvious signs, and when this doesn't help, I will make the situation so devastated that you will have to wake up and do something. You are the creators of the imbalances within your own mind, from the challenges, confrontations, and struggle you experience in any aspect of your life. Even the deforestation, the global warming, the wars and problems in the third world, you are contributing in one way or another. But what are you willing to do about it? When you do not lead a conscious life and experience imbalance, you straight away create new imbalances, even when you went through some challenges to recreate balance. Quote, "No one can describe the glory of the moment when the mind is still and the soul is in a state of complete absorption. Swamiji Maharaj." End of quote. The guiding force of necessities. Simplicity is the key. In regards to spiritual living, live a simple and contented life in all its aspects and do not complicate life by adding and adding, resulting in endless obligations connecting to stress. Just take care of the basic needs of life, which is already enough to take care of, and enjoy the simple things of life. Your physical body is dependent and in need of a lot of things, but the soul only needs your attention through silent prayer and meditation. The answer to get out of the complexity of a never fulfilling life is within you and achieved by that inner prayer. Quote, "From the moment you came into the world of being, a ladder was placed before you that you might escape." Shamsi Tabriz. End of quote. The guiding force of wholeness. No need to go more into separation. In regards to spiritual living, realize that you separate yourself from yourselves, others and nature, and separating everything in parts and pieces. And you do this in everything in life, and then looking again your entire life for that missing piece or the missing pieces. The cause of you separating everything in parts and pieces or looking at everything as individual and separate units is because you are separated from your Creator and your real true self, the soul within. Connect through silent and inner prayer and meditation with your true self and reunite. As a soul, you will realize that all is one, whole and inseparable. Quote, "The mystical spirit that craves for a direct encounter with God, for a fresh illumination of soul, is not content with pondering a tradition, even a mystical tradition. To gain this boon, the mystic must travel the lone road of meditation, of struggling with his own opaque material self, to break the barrier that separates him from God, and to enter directly into contact with the divine mystery." Miriam Boxer Caravella. End of quote. The guiding force of comprehension. There is always more than you can see or comprehend. In regards to spiritual living, know that when you are busy analyzing and trying to figure things out, that you may come to some kind of conclusion, but you will never see the entire picture. There is always much more history before everything, which you cannot see from the level of consciousness you have. It is only from the level of your soul that you can see why every detailed incident in life is perfectly constructed, and that the things that happen are for the freeing of your soul, and not for worldly gain. Quote, "When we have seen reality, there is not a grain of dust which has not a sublime meaning." Vanderleo, end of quote. So go within and continue your spiritual practice in order to one day to be able to understand and see the entire picture. The guiding force of improvement and perfection. There is always room for improvement. In regards to spiritual living, be on the inner path, so that one day you may realize that you are a soul which is perfect, but that seeking perfection in the world, which is created with opposites constantly changing and bound to time, is impossible, although your book of life is perfect in its own way. Being in silent prayer and meditation and staying at the level of your soul, and everything is perfect. Quote, "Eternal life is for God alone. He lives forever, and whoever merges himself in his source, that is in God, praised be he, also enjoys eternal life. Similarly, there is no perfection except in God, praised be he, and everything outside of him is deficient. But whoever is merged in him also enjoys perfection." Rabbi Naaman. End of quote. Realize how many great souls have been on the planet, and you still do not have a perfect world in the way you perceive perfection. Maybe this world is as it is, and you just need to return to that perfect place you once came from. While being in the world, know, however, that there is always room for improvement. The guiding force of order, place, and function. Everything is part of an order and has a function and place. In regards to spiritual living, know that you have the perfect book of life on the stage in the theater of life, in order to evolve on a spiritual level and to return to your original and eternal home. There is a purpose, function, order, and place for all things to happen when you would be able to look from a higher point of view. But as long as you do not accept these facts, you stay complaining and trying to change things regarding the world in your way. All of you are part of the chain of love and all equally loved by God the Creator, but it's up to you as individuals how you are operating with your love in the theater of life. Quote, "The Creator is at the top of this current, and the individual soul is at the other end, the current thus acting as the connecting link between them." Maharaj Sawan Singh. End of quote. The guiding force of cause and effect. Every action has not just one reaction, but causes a chain reaction and creates a reality you have to deal with. In regards to spiritual living, know that you have created and are still creating the reality you have to live in yourself. In the world of mind and matter, every action has not only one reaction, but also a chain reaction. So be careful with what you think, say, and do. What goes around will come around. Some of you will talk about genetic inheritance, others about karma, but the fact is that you all come with a package. But when you do not accept that either you or the Creator wrote it, you just stay victims in your own book of life. Quote, "We ourselves are the architect of our faith." Maharaj Sawan Singh. End of quote. Realize that as long as you want things in and from creation, that you are planting seeds in creation. Only through silent prayer and meditation you can escape this law and planting seeds in heaven. The guiding force of contraction and expansion. Quality or quantity? In regards to spiritual living, stay aware that when all your energy is going down and out into the creation, that you imprison your soul. Your energy expands and scatters itself to the things of creation, and the entrance to be in consciousness with the Creator contracts and thus closes. Quote, in Masters and Christs, the outward centrifugal force has been nullified, and the inward centripetal force has been developed. Maharaj Sawan Singh. End of quote. Stay in contact with your soul through silent prayer and meditation, and contract from the world and expand in your spiritual awareness. Quote, your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. Carl Gustav Jung. End of quote. To be in contact with the Creator is quality living, because you will know how to live in harmony and not wanting more and more. Quantity always goes at the cost of quality. The guiding force of repetition. Using the ability to repeat for the right reason and purpose. In regards to spiritual living, know that through the repetition of your silent prayer, you avoid the repetition of worldly things. This prayer is the energy of the life-creating and life-sustaining energy itself, and has nothing to do with any of your wishes. Basically, you use the mind capacity of repetition for your spiritual practice, and while doing this, the mind will be occupied and not pulling your energies down and out into the world. Quote, but just as other habits are created by practice and perseverance, the mind also is to be put into the new channel by love and faith and perseverance. Maharaj Sawan Singh. End of quote. It is through the repetition of your silent prayer that you gather all the scattered energies and go in and up inside and beyond the realm of mind and matter. After some time, you will understand that this prayer was already inside you and that you are just tuning into it. The guiding force of reflections. All your experiences are a reflection from within yourself. In regards to spiritual living, know that everything you experience external is a reflection from within yourself. All is within you, and even every character on the outside must be a reflection from within you, otherwise you could not recognize them. It is looking into a mirror and making peace with everything and everybody as being you, and accepting this and making peace. Try to experience you as something else and not you as someone else. This is mirrored living. Quote, we don't see things as they are. We see them as we are. Talmud. End of quote. Go one step further and find that pure soul and God within you, for it is in you and everybody. When you have reunited, you will look differently in the mirror of life, for you will recognize that soul and the Creator in everything and everybody. When you would look at everything in the world from this point of view, your entire adventure will change instantly, because you look out from the window of your soul. Quote, most people are mirrors, reflecting the moods and emotions of the times. Few are windows, bringing light to bear on the dark corners where trouble festers. The whole purpose of education is to turn mirrors into windows. Sidney J. Harris. End of quote. The guiding force of rhythm and vibrations. Realize that what you are, you will attract or repel. In regards to spiritual living, know that the sum total of all you brought with you into your life and all your experiences from the things you thought, learned, ate, saw, smelled during your life made you what you are today. Everything is and has an energy vibration, and thus the sum total of all these vibrations is you as a vibration. Your personal energy vibration or rhythm will keep you connected to similar energy vibrations, like a magnet that attracts or repels. Quote, "We are like magnets, like attract like. You become and attract what you think." Quotes from The Secret. End of quote. Through your spiritual practice and being in contact with Kandu the Creator and your spiritual mentor, your old energy vibrations get burned away and you become slowly another being. While going through this process, be on guard to not want to go back to the old you and even assist in the burning process by letting go of the old you and all the attachments. The guiding force of service. Learn to serve and care. In regards to spiritual living, remember that the Creator and the creation, and within that the earth, the sun, the air, oxygen, water, and everything in nature, and all that comes from it, serves you all without any discrimination and without expecting anything in return. Look at what you all do as lost souls in this world. You consume and you keep on taking anything for your luxury. Realize that everything, more than your basic needs, is luxury, and through this taking and consuming, you will be consumed by it. You are consuming your planet and health, and one day being consumed by sickness. Wherever you go, the first thing you expect is being served. And being on a spiritual path, it is time to turn things around and start serving the Creator and within it everything and everybody and the Creator in return, without any expectation. Quote, "The simple path. Silence is prayer. Prayer is faith. Faith is love. Love is service. The fruit of service is peace." Mother Teresa. End of quote. The guiding force of individuality. There is no need for comparing and competing. In regards to spiritual living, know that on the physical plane that you are a physical being, which is totally unique and incomparable, and that there is no need for competition. Quote, "Since you are like no other being ever created since the beginning of time, you are incomparable." Brenda Ueland. End of quote. On the level of the soul, you are all the same, but on your path to soul, self, and God realization, you will walk as an individual. And here as well, there is no need to compare or compete. Your path is completely individual, even though you may be part of a group that follows the same spiritual principles.